We are here with Andrew Burke, who is the CEO of Bluberi, which has got to be one of the most interesting little companies in the gaming industry. I mean, you guys have come almost from out of nowhere. And when you look at surveys now, Bluberi is way up there. Game after game after game is performing well. Tell us a little bit, Andrew, about how you got to this point. Sure. And where you go from here.
Yeah, well, thanks, Frank, for having me. I really appreciate that. You know, Bluberi is, it's been an amazing journey. You know, this is now my 5th year at the company, and we've got just a talented, amazing group of people throughout the organization at every level. And I think when you think about our company, or at least I hope when people think about our company, they think about us as being fun, being different and sort of innovative, and then being high quality. The details really matter to us on sort of everything that we do. If you come by our booth at G2E this week, you'll see that. Everything is very intentional and thoughtful about how we show up and come to things like a G2E, for example. And I think that attention to detail, but also having fun, has really made us a compelling business and a compelling business partner for our customers.
Technology is racing ahead so fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is expensive.
Yep.
So you are competing against guys whose R&D budgets are probably bigger than your total budget.
Absolutely.
And yet, again, you're making this sort of progress. So what's the fun is part of it?
Sure.
What else is the secret sauce in terms of
I think that's where
innovation?
you really get to the intentionality of what we do. Like when we're going to make a certain number of games, you know, in a year, they have to be the best of that small number of games that we're going to make, you know, in a year. If we're going to build 10 games, they have to be very, very thoughtful. We don't have room for error, so that causes us to really scrutinize our R&D spend and be thoughtful about what we're building. And so we do a lot of research, and we spend a lot of time thinking about the piece parts of a game and what makes a great game. And we are sort of always trying to backward engineer game performance. I know you might say, hey, isn't everybody doing that? And yes, to some degree, but we've really spent a lot of time, you know, thinking about that. And our budget is much smaller than everybody else's, but we all have the fundamental same problem. We have to build great games. And each individual game has the same amount of people working on it, whether it's at, you know, sort of a big company or our company. You know, the bigger companies just have more teams you know, working on it. So we try to really focus on putting together the best teams we can and building the most thoughtful products that we can. And that's how we've been able to sort of have an advantage, you know, at our size. And we can also do things that other companies can't do by moving very, very quickly, moving at a very fast pace. You know, there's very little to no bureaucracy at Bluberi, so decisions are made, you know, quickly.
One of the buzzwords this year is artificial intelligence.
Sure.
Are you guys dabbling in that area?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's really interesting for us because we're at a size where artificial intelligence isn't threatening to our employees, because for us it's just about growth. You know, we're trying to invest a ton of money in our R&D spend, and we're trying to optimize that R&D spend so that we spend $1 like everybody else spends $2. So we have no intention of like replacing employees with artificial intelligence. We're just trying to speed up the process, and I think there's lots of ways you can use AI to do that. But anybody that says they've sort of unlocked the magic thing around it is not, you know, nobody has yet. But there are definitely some case studies for how to use it to improve things, and we've certainly done that on the art side of our business, where our artists are using it to get to a prototype level much faster than they would have historically. And we've got a whole bunch of other case studies on how we're using it effectively.
Talking about making great games, do you or can you distill down what makes a great game from a Bluberi perspective in a few words?
I could try. You know, I think when you think about any game, there are a handful of elements that make it successful. And I'll do a poor job of sort of rephrasing my partner Mike Brennan's, our Chief Product Officer's thoughts on this, but will they try it? Which is fundamentally an art question. You know, do they walk up and see something that appeals to them and that causes them to sit down? Step 2, will they bet up? So they may enter at the lowest bet level on the game, but the way that product performance is just a math formula, right? It's coin in sort of minus prizes, right? So will we get them to move from the lowest bet to the next up bet to maybe the max bet? That's another indicator of product performance. And then the next fundamental one is, will they come back? And the will they come back is an outcome of how was their experience and did they like our recipe? Because it's not just all art, it's not just all math, it's a recipe, right? And so did they like all the ingredients we put into the game and the experience they had? And that's what we're thinking about and trying to solve for, and really kind of put some data and thoughts beyond, what does it mean to kind of see it and come get to it? What does it mean to bet up? What does it mean to come back? And really trying to distill those down.
We are at a stage where a lot of people think that the gaming supplier in this as part of the industry is ripe for another round of consolidation.
Sure.
And you, I should think, Bluberi, given your success and given your relatively small size, would be an attractive target. Do you see yourself as maybe being acquired at some point, or are you actually an acquirer?
We feel like we're a great platform. I think regularly people probably underestimate our ambition at Bluberi. We've really are building this for the future. We're still quite small and have a ton of organic growth ahead of us. We're only operating in 50% of the jurisdictions in North America, so we're getting licensed in Nevada currently. We're getting licensed in Louisiana. We're not licensed in Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Illinois. So there's quite a bit of white space for the business, but we think of this business as a platform. I would love for this to be my last job, and I think our employees feel the same way. We have such a great, passionate group of people, pushing the boulder uphill every day, that this is a lot of fun for us. So I really see us more as a platform than as a sort of acquisition target.
And would you be public someday?
I would hope so. In the long run, that's I think a good long-term goal for our company. You have to be of the right size and have the right sort of requirements to do that. But I think certainly for the longevity of our business, we'd like a path like that in the long run. Who knows how long that would be as a likely sort of destination for this business.
Okay, so we're at G2E.
Yes.
Where everybody exhibits their newest and best products. What are one or two must-sees at your booth?
You're going to see a lot of really great stuff at our booth, but I think the thing that I hope everyone takes away from our booth is that every year for the last 3 years, we have opened a new game development studio. And so when you come to our booth this week, you're going to see games from 6 content sources. Every game that we've put out so far has only come from 2 of our studios. So the breadth of what we're doing is much wider. And I think the other thing that everybody will take away when they come from our booth is we have a very diversified portfolio of games. So when you look at our products, Devil's Lock was our huge hit, and there's another version of Devil's Lock in our booth, but that's not all we're doing. We've got a lot of different game mechanics on display in the booth. So I hope that everybody comes and sees the sort of breadth of our product. And then we have a really awesome product called the Beacon Lighthouse. That's a new hardware add-on to a for-sale game package. I think it's just a really good example of sort of the subtle innovation that we do. It's not this crazy innovation. It's fairly subtle, but it's pretty cool and pretty impactful.
Okay, great. That's a good overview. Anything else you'd like folks to know about Bluberi?
I would just like to say that we are a really passionate group of people that come to work every day, really excited about what we're doing. I just want to thank our employees and everybody for all the hard work that they do, especially getting ready for the show. It's quite the sprint to do that. So I hope that if you're doing business with us now, that you're happy that you're making those investments, and if you're not doing business with us yet, I hope that you will.
Okay. So. Andrew, thank you. Great job.
Yeah, thank you.